setting a goal. Well, that's kind of the easy part. I mean, arbitrarily picking a weight loss number or wanting to attain 20 pounds lost, or wanting to run a 5K in a certain amount of time, or wanting to squat a certain weight. Just arbitrarily grabbing those goals. That's really kind of the easy part. Getting to those goals is what the challenge is. And the devil is in the details. When setting your fitness goals, especially for the new year, it's best to have a system. The system to success today on the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Good day and welcome to the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Welcome to the new year. Thank y'all so much for joining me. My name is Garrett Williamson. I'm president of Personalized Fitness and the host of the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to conquering this topic. It's a very popular topic this time of year, and I want to help everybody get to their goals and help make their New Year's resolutions come true. And before I dive into this topic, also want to let you know that we have an announcement today of something new that we're launching, which actually can help you get to those goals. And everybody, not just our clients that are coming in the facility or online with us, but everybody that can reach us via Wi-Fi or via some sort of an internet connection. We have a new program for you, and I look forward to telling you about that. But first, let me tell you how to get in touch with us. If you have any questions about this show or any others, or if you have any questions dealing with dispelling the myths of health, fitness, and wellness, you can reach me at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. Also, you can reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com. That, of course, is our website and our Facebook page also. Hit me up on X at Team PE if you are so inclined. New Year's resolutions, fitness goals. Great topic, of course, this time of year. In fact, every time I talk about New Year's resolutions, I always have to bring up this story of when I was at a New Year's party, and was invited to this fantastic New Year's party. It was a wine tasting, and so we were around a good group of friends, and we were tasting different wines. And after quite a few hours of tasting, one of my fellow enophiles actually stood up and made a toast. And his toast was, "May your New Year's problems last as long as your New Year's resolutions do." Now, I did find that funny. I did find it rather difficult to drink to it, but I understood what he meant. And that's the reason we're doing this podcast, because too many times we actually set those goals and we don't attain them. And we feel really bad about ourselves when we do that. So, but most of the problem with that is that we set a goal. We throw out an arbitrary number. We throw out some kind of arbitrary goal. And it may be a fantastic goal. Maybe the one we had last year. But we don't really put a plan together, a system together, in order to get to that goal. And your success or failure relies on that system. One of my favorite books, Atomic Habits by James Clear, addresses this. He talks about, he focuses on daily habits. And I love the way he puts that. The daily habits always win. The goals don't. And what he means by that is that you may pick a goal, but your daily habits are going to dictate what your goal ends up being. And so when putting your goal together, or arbitrarily picking that goal, working it backwards, working it into what we usually call as smaller goals, little goals, or smaller steps, and then breaking it all the way down to what do you need to do each day in order to hit that goal. Now, I'm just like everybody else. I set New Year's resolutions. I set new goals. I've got them for pretty much every aspect of my life. I've got them for my business. I've got them for the podcast. I've got them for my fitness level. I've got them for my racing. I've got them for my family, for my spiritual well-being. Pretty much every aspect of my life. But I know that I'm not going to reach those goals unless I have the right habits and right systems in place. So when we put this together, to determine your goal, develop and evaluate your system. And I always say work it backwards. Now, usually, you can do this through some simple math. Many of our goals, especially in fitness, because we have so many metrics that we can measure to measure whatever we're chasing in health, fitness, and wellness. Whether it's nutrition or it's a fitness goal, it's a strength goal, it's an endurance goal, it's a weight loss goal, it's a weight gain goal, it's a whatever. Usually, there's numbers attributed to it, and by doing some simple math, you can start to break those numbers down. I've got a client that their goal, and we have a goal tree here. That everybody actually writes their goals up at the beginning of the year and hangs it on the tree. And, of course, we have a big celebration when they actually accomplish that goal and take that off the tree and possibly put another one up there. And there's a goal up there of a squat of 315 pounds. And this individual put a time with it, which I appreciated. I'm not sure who said this first, but it's something I learned. I learned it in my business group in Vistage. We say it quite often, and that is a goal without a timeline is a dream. And that's true. Unless you put a timeline on it, it's really just a dream. Whether it happens, it's going to be mostly by luck if it were to happen. So he actually had a goal on it. The goal is to hit this 315 squat in 6 months. So we got a couple of numbers there. Another thing we looked at was, where's your squat now? What happens to be squatting 190? Great. We did some simple math, and in 6 months, he's going to need to go up a little over 20 pounds a month, and we're going to need to break that down into 5 pounds per week. And how are we going to make those gains? Well, we're going to do leg work 3 to 4 days a week, depending on the week and depending on making sure we can have a day in between for recovery. And that was the way he mathematically broke down his goal. Now, this can work against you largely against you by just arbitrarily picking those numbers and not setting up that system. Another example: I had a gentleman years ago who had picked 24 pounds is what he wanted to lose. And if you think about it, when it comes to weight loss, usually we just grasp these numbers. And a lot of times they don't have a whole lot of logic behind them. The logic would be, well, I remember when I was at that weight, and I saw some pictures of me at that weight, and that's why I like that. Or we just feel like, 10 pounds sounds great. That sounds like something I should lose. I think if I feel better if I would lose 10 pounds. You ever notice it's never like 7.5 pounds? It's usually it's usually in the tens. This individual, was interesting. He actually picked 25 pounds is what he wanted to lose. And it was the timeline that he put on it, which was very reasonable to lose 25 pounds. If you look at it just, okay, I'm going to take a person and I'm going to have him lose 25 pounds, and his goal was in 3 months. Well, that sounds very feasible. I mean, right off the top of the bat, without knowing anything about the individual, yeah, that's more than conceivable. We had, in our In It to Lose It program, the average weight loss is 12 pounds, and that's 2 weeks. So, obviously 25 pounds seemed very, very reasonable. Then we started looking at, okay, what system is it going to take to get there? What do we need to do with his fitness? What do we need to do with his nutrition? And what was his lifestyle? What kind of lifestyle changes could we make with his work schedule, with his family schedule, with his any other extracurricular activities, or other responsibilities he may have? And as we started to work this program, and we laid out what he would need to, what changes he would need to make on a monthly, weekly, and daily basis, we quickly found out within the first week or two. We set up this plan, and we found out in the first week or two that that was gonna put us off our goal of that magic 25 pounds. But here's the interesting thing: we were able to make adjustments. We were able to make adjustments saying, look, we were a bit off more than we can choose. That many days per week working out, that many changes to your nutrition are going to happen, aren't going to happen. And so let's tweak it a bit, but let's continue with these daily habits. And where he ended up at 18. Now, 25 pounds was the goal, and he ended up with only 18 pounds. First thing, that's not. If you're in that territory, you've been through a weight loss journey, or you're in one right now, and if you hear 25, shot for 25, and I ended up at 18, hey, not too bad, and it really isn't. But the point I'm making on this is the fact that he was very excited, even though he didn't, quote unquote, hit his goal. But he was very excited because he had developed this system. In that 3 months' time, he had developed these daily habits that he was going to keep with him. He'd passed the 90-day lifestyle change timeline to make a lifestyle change. Take 21 days to make a habit, 90 days to make a lifestyle change. He had passed that, and now the number almost didn't matter because he was so happy about the daily changes, about the habits, about the system that he had put in place. And again, back to we did the same thing when we set up his program. We set it up and we used a bunch of math to figure out what he needed to do. I do that with water. It's all about, you really want to make a big difference in your life, period, your life. Yes, and weight loss, absolutely. Energy level, yes. The way you feel, the way you look, the way you think. Of course, water. You hear me talking about it all the time. And I actually have a plan for, everybody knows, if you're a fan of the podcast, you've heard me say it. I say what every major health governing body and or educational institution that studies this says about drinking water, 100 ounces a day. Who says that? You've heard me say it before. National Institute of Health, American Dietary Association, American Medical Association, Harvard Medical, Stanford Medical, Cooper Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, I can go on. And so that's the number I use. But if you've listened to my podcast and you've seen my water bottle, that if you're watching this online, you're seeing me holding this up. I've got these rubber bands on it. And I give you a step-by-step system to get to 100 ounces. And real quickly for that, for those of you that don't know it, first thing is to get that baseline number, find out where you are. Much like we did with the gentleman who wanted to get a 315-pound squat, we first found out, well, where's your squat right now? We found out it was at 190. Okay, there's our baseline. When you're getting your water baseline, you take your first day going into this new venture, you just have a water bottle with you all the time and you track your water. Don't try to set a record. At the end of the day, how much have you drank? I had one bottle, I had 20 ounces. I had 2 bottles, I had 40 ounces. Whatever. That is now your baseline. And as I've said before, the system is you stay at that baseline or above, not below, or above every single day. A daily habit. Every single day, that's your goal. At the end of 7 days, add a bottle. If your baseline was 40, now your baseline is 60. But it's far better than trying to just arbitrarily jump and drink 100 ounces of water the next day. Not going to work. Or not having that system. Oh, I'm just going to not drink anything but water. It's not a system, not a daily habit that's going to help you get there. Weight loss is the same way. We do that, like I was telling you, the gentleman that had that his goal was to lose 25 pounds. We set him up on daily habits so that he hit that 18. And by the way, soon thereafter, he was well over the 25. And he gained quite a bit of muscle in that time. I'm not even sure if 25 pounds of actual gravitational pull on the earth he needed to change. It was a body fat drop and what have you. But he had those daily habits in place, so he was able to maintain them, which is another reason for setting up that system. Rarely do I have anybody come that says, hey, I want to make a change in my health, fitness, or wellness, but I want it to end. In other words, I want to make this change, and then I want to go right back to where I was. Rarely do I have somebody do that. Usually you want to make sure whatever goal you attained, you want to maintain it. Well, again, back to developing the system. It is more important. It is more important than picking the goal. And what if you make a mistake? We all do. I mean, the most successful individuals in every discipline make mistakes. They fall short of their daily habit, of their daily goal. They miss a day. They miss a time. Well, what do you do then? This is very important to understand this and actually plan for this, because it's going to happen. But plan for that, because the faster you can get back into your daily habit is going to be the measurement of your success. I mean, that will tell you whether or not you're going to be successful. A lot of people end up in a sort of a nutrition program, a diet program, and they end up blowing a meal or blowing a day. Typically, it's blowing a meal. They'll blow a meal, and then, oh gosh, I'll just get back on a Monday, or they'll give up. More importantly, the very next step is when you correct it. Don't worry about trying to what you've missed. You know, if you're in a running program and you've got to run, 10 to 15 miles in a week, and at the end of the week, you know you're not going to get that 10 to 15. Don't try to cram it. Don't try to beat yourself up. Just the very next day, the very next habit. Make sure that's 100%. Don't, as James Clear says in his book, don't fail twice. Failing once is a mistake, but failing twice, you can't control that. And that has to do with that mental outlook, that outlook on it, knowing how to get back into your habits once you've made that mistake, once you've stepped backwards. So the big part of this, again, is spending time in breaking down that program and figuring out your systems. Now, I said at the beginning of the show that I had an announcement to make about something we're going to be offering, and it speaks actually to what we're talking about. As I've said many times, we are the top personal training facility in the Southeast. We train over 300 sessions a week. We have an average tenure of a client of 5.7 years. We have the most qualified staff in the Southeast, with all of our staff members possessing, at minimum, a bachelor's degree in the field of either exercise science, exercise physiology, kinesiology, sport medicine, or athletic training. But the number one thing we sell, the key to our success, believe it or not, besides our culture, is the number one thing we sell, which is accountability. And now, if you're not working with us, or if you are, we have a program for coaching accountability for any and everybody out there. A tracking system, not only for fitness, but also for nutrition. Whether you ever grace our doors, you live in this area or not. Several of our online clients don't live in this area. In this particular accountability program, this is an app that we're offering. It's called, the name of the program is called Pledge, and it's where your goals meet accountability. And this is it's a very affordable program, and it's one that offers at different levels. But one of the things that we do in this program is we actually do a online consult with you, one-on-one, an incredible background survey of information on you to help you develop your program, develop your nutrition, set your systems together, help you reach your goals. And then there's regular, weekly, even daily coaching and accountability associated with the program. If you're interested in that, reach out to me at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also contact me at garrett@personaledgefitness.com. You can reach out to us on our website, which is, of course, personaledgefitness.com. That's also our Facebook page. And you can contact me on X at @TeamPE. But if you're watching us online, you can click right here, pointing at it. Hopefully I'm pointing right. You click right here, and do the scan right here, and it will take you to the survey. You'll get entered into our system, and then once we get some information from you, we'll set up a time, we'll set up a link so that you can set up a consult and get hooked up and get going for your own coaching accountability. I can't recommend it any better because it's the number one thing we sell, and that is accountability. Pledge, where your goals meet accountability. Love to have you involved with that. Spend some time, if you've set goals, spend some time working out that system. Contact us either about this other program or give us a call, see if we can help you put it together. We'd be more than glad to help you develop the system that's going to help you reach your goal, because we know that is the way we can help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.